Getting a grasp on how to handle your retirement funds can be daunting, but luckily there are people to help. Sheldon Weiner is here with us. He's a founding partner of Egan, Berger Weiner LLC, and he is here to explain all the aspects of investment and retirement planning. Welcome back.
Thank you for having me.
You always make these things so easy for us to understand, and
we try.
Makes it as if we can actually retire in style. So the first thing we want to know is the importance of a guaranteed income in retirement. How important is that, and what exactly does that mean?
Well, it is important for most people. People have the attitude that they would love to have all their income guaranteed. Well, that's not necessarily good. Many studies have shown that what we are looking for is 35 to 40% of what you need to live on guaranteed. All these studies have shown that when you have a portion guaranteed, you have a much more successful financial retirement. We don't want it all guaranteed, because when that happens, when you hear guarantee, think expense. It's expensive to give you guarantees.
So the importance of the sources of income must be important when we're talking about retirement too. I mean, guaranteed income is one thing, but having varied sources also important?
Absolutely. Today, approximately 60% of people's income is coming from Social Security or working. Now, it used to be pensions in the 1980s. Over 65% of Americans had a pension.
Right.
Today, the number's well under 20%. And most of those are government workers, state workers, military, and so forth. So the amount of guaranteed income that comes in is much lower than it was even 10 or 15 years ago.
What about withdrawal rates?
Very important. The first thing that we want to do is look at what income you need. And we divide it up first into needs, money that you need to live on, pay your mortgage, put food on the table. Then there's wants. How much do you want? Depends on how much you travel, go out to dinner, things of that type. And then legacy. Legacy is what you want to leave to your children and grandchildren. So once you calculate all of that, historically, we would go for a withdrawal rate. We take your assets and withdraw 4%, 5%, 6%. 4% was kind of the standard. Well, it really depends on what the market is doing if you're heavily invested in the market. And a 4% withdrawal rate in a good market can give you 8 to 10 years longer than if the market is not doing very well. And if you're increasing that to 5 or 6%, it makes a huge, huge difference.
So is this essentially creating a budget and then thinking about your children when you are thinking about that? What's going to be left over at the end of the day, if you will?
And that's all part of it.
Okay.
How much do you need to live on? What are your goals? What are you trying to accomplish? And what do you want to leave to your children, grandchildren, and so forth?
Okay, let's talk about structure. How do we structure this all?
The way that we do it in our office is with something that we call life check. First thing we decide is how much money you need to live on. Let's make up a number, $10,000 a month. We then see how much you have guaranteed. So guarantees are Social Security and pension for most people. If you don't have enough, we want to give you some guaranteed income, say through an annuity or another vehicle. After that, we take a portion of money over and above that to live on. We put that in cash or cash equivalents. And you can draw directly from that monthly or quarterly or however you would like. Tier number 2 is shorter term types of instruments, bonds, utility funds, things of that type. And instead of reinvesting the portfolio back, as most people are doing during the accumulation stage, we send it from tier 2 to tier 1.
Okay.
Tier 3 is longer term, stocks, dividend stocks, and that goes from tier 3 to tier 2 to tier 1. Thus, you have control over your own retirement income and decide exactly how you want your money spent.
Now, folks always say it's never too early to start planning for your future and thinking about these things, but many people just put it off as long as possible. So can you give me an idea, maybe a magic number or an age of when we really need to get a handle on these things, get your assets in order?
Absolutely. Procrastination is our biggest problem. When you're graduating college, for instance, it's not a real important. People don't think about it. But the sooner you start, the better off you are. I don't care if you're saving $50 a month. You need to start putting money away. Of course, I tried to explain that to my children. Did absolutely no good whatsoever.
Right.
They waited until they're 40.
Yes,
some reason to procrastinate. But the sooner you start, the better off you are.
Okay, so you're not going to give me a number, like 45, 50?
The typical person isn't starting till their mid-40s.
Okay.
But we like to see it actually late 20s, early 30s.
Late 20s, early 30s. Get into your office.
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Well, can I put you on the spot again and ask you what the magic number is of what, if I'm a 25-year-old, how much money should I be putting away?
We would like to see somewhere in the neighborhood of 10 to 12% of your income.
Okay, that seems doable.
Yeah, for many people it is, but not many people do it.
Okay, well, we'll do it. That'll be our New Year's resolution in the middle of the spring, but that's okay. Thank you so much, Sheldon Weiner of Egan, Berger Weiner, LLC. More Let's Talk Lives coming up. Stick with us right here.